Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Stern AG. You see their phone number right there. This is a national company, folks. They manage more than $17 billion in assets for people all across the U.S., all 50 states. But here in Knoxville, the folks you deal with one-on-one are East Tennesseans, trained specifically to help you plan out, map out your financial future. One-on-one conversations. You're not picking up the phone and talking to somebody on an answering bank somewhere in another country. You are talking to a person right across the desk, meeting with you about your portfolio, whether that portfolio is $2.5 million, $250,000, $25,000, or $25. Well, maybe not $25. Stern AG. If you do have $25, they can help you grow it. Stern AG Knoxville. Give them a call. All right. Back to talk about the SEC East. Same premise. You buy stock now. You don't get to pull out your money until 2024, so this is a 10-year buy. Do you want to start with who you don't want to touch, or you want to start with where you're going?
Where we're going.
Okay. Where are you going to put? Well, you started last time, so let's work away the other way. You got robbed. Everybody texted and you got stuck, so you get to start this one. Who are you investing in?
To me, it's obvious, Florida. I'm investing in Florida. The history, I mean, there's a blip, but you look at the long-term history, the stock over 10 years, I'm going with Florida because of the resources, the recruiting.
Long-term meaning since 1980.
Yeah.
It's really when it boomed.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes Florida.
You know,
obvious.
I think you have to go with Florida just simply because even though they've kind of had little ups and downs over here in the past decade. I mean, you've got the recruiting right there, not only in Florida, but you've got Georgia right there. You've got South Carolina close. So I just don't see any way you go anywhere but Florida for the 10-year period.
Okay. I'm going to go Georgia. And the reason is Georgia only has to compete with Georgia Tech and Georgia State. More SEC players, that means all 14 schools, come out of Georgia every year than come out of Florida.
So they do have to compete with more than Georgia Tech and Georgia State.
Yeah, but you're getting the home state guys to stay at home is the point. In Florida, you've got to deal with...
Unfair having really like facts.
Yeah, let's throw stones at man with facts. You look at Florida, you're always going to have to compete with Florida State. If Miami comes back, you're having to worry about that. Florida, obviously, a tremendous. I don't think you're going to lose much money investing in either of these. But Georgia's at-home competition is a lot easier than Florida's, in my view. So I would bet on Georgia. Plus, if you want to go all-time history, their all-time history is a lot better than Florida's. Now, the recent history, Florida's has been better, but I would go Georgia.
Well, unless there are a lot of Tennessee legacy players in the second grade that we don't know about right now, you have to go Florida. I mean, for all the reasons that have been stated in recruiting, and the next coach after Will Muschamp will really have a lot to work with once he gets there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's my look at
Well,
Florida.
I didn't know that about Georgia having more players in the
Every
SEC
year.
than Florida.
Every year,
I mean,
more SEC signees come out of the state of Georgia than out of Florida because you've got seven or eight, 9 Division I teams, FBS teams in the state of Florida to compete with. But the Florida thing, you also look back over the last 10, 12 years, they're up, they're down.
Yeah.
They're up, they're down. There's this thought that, well, they win a national championship every year. No, they've had, 5 years of 5 or more losses in the last decade, last 12 years? Again, I think Georgia hasn't hit the heights of Florida, but Georgia's been more consistent.
If we were
than Florida.
sitting at a sales desk, you might have pulled my money that way.
Well, we'll have to ask the guys at Stern AG what they think. All right, who wouldn't you put your money on?
I'm not going to put it in Vanderbilt right now. I think Vanderbilt is probably headed after having the best of times at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
It's almost inevitable for that to drop off, and once it starts to slide, it's probably going to slide for a few more years anyway.
I think everybody here is familiar with selling short. You buy a stock when it's high, knowing it's going to drop. Right. I'm going to sell South Carolina short because I think when Steve Spurrier leaves, you're going to see them fall down. Now, long term, is Vandy and Kentucky probably going to be worse? Probably. But South Carolina was pretty bad. Once again, go back, and that is the facts I do have. Go back and look at their history. So I'm selling South Carolina short and expecting them to drop.
They had a completely winless year not too long ago under Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
So that I was thinking you were going to say sell high with Vanderbilt right now, but South Carolina they're much higher.
Yes.
So and the thing is, can they replace a Steve Spurrier? History would say no because you look at the track record. Mike Strange, Where would you not go with your money?
It's very tempting not to go with Vanderbilt, but I'm gonna go Kentucky on this one because I think we've seen Vanderbilt, we've seen what they can do. I think being in Nashville, just a better recruiting base in Middle Tennessee, and I know they recruit nationally, but I believe Vanderbilt has a little bit more upside than Kentucky going forward, just because of what's happening in the mid-state in Tennessee.
Let me ask you this: does it play into it at all that Kentucky, of all these schools you're looking at, is a basketball school?
Absolutely, yes.
That plays into it
Yes.
because it's hard to get over that perception, I think.
Yeah.
So.
That would play into it with me too.
But
If
it
I
can
was
make
gonna
some
go-
pretty good recruiting visits when you get the football players on campus for that big basketball environment at Rupp Arena.
Boy, and I'll say this too: what they're doing. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the plans for what they're doing with Commonwealth Stadium, but it is fantastic. Mitch Barnhart, they are doing a really great job with what this is going to be, and they're doing something that a lot of schools are going to start copying. They're going to have a special room for their recruits, but they will have a terrace built onto it so they can kind of walk out in one end zone, and they're standing there, and every time the recruits walk out, they get a big round of applause. You know that's going to happen. It's pretty smart what they're doing. In 10 years, I don't know if it's enough to turn them around though, but they're at least, I think, investing in football for the first time in a long time. All right, when we come back, SEC Media Days is coming up. Starts tomorrow. Football season's here. Media Days. Is it a celebration, as ESPN wants you to believe, or is it just kind of an overhyped mess? We'll debate that. Come on back on the Sports Report.